We help contractors by the hundreds with all of the administrative burdens that surround handling their construction projects. That means helping them with estimating, working with them on all the administration of their supplements, and doing the administrative services back office work that enables them to focus on selling, building, and billing.
We see contractors just starting off, maybe they're struggling with the fundamentals of running a construction business. They partner up with us, their process is now defined, they're able to grow their profit margins and actually scale because they're not held back with the burden of dealing with the supplementing process. I feel proud of what we've been able to do in this industry.
This is Larry Bache with the Merlin Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Merlin Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I as a contractor appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor that's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
What's up, everybody? Lead meteorologist John Troquette here for our daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and Art of the Supplement and Balanced Claims. So, big story we have for today was the event that happened yesterday evening, a little bit by surprise. Lubbock had a 5-star map. We had up to 3-inch hail across Lubbock, Texas. We'll kind of talk about that. Keeping their streak alive, I think this is the 3rd straight year that they've had a 5-star map, and I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to think of when 2018's was. They might have all happened in the same week of May. So Lubbock has been pretty consistent here in that mid-May time frame. So keeping that alive. We got hail chances today, tomorrow, and in through the Memorial Day weekend. Gets a little muddled closer to Memorial Day, but looks like we're going to see some hail for that holiday weekend. And our next episode of our 10-year celebration series is going to be Matt Grassmeyer, and that's going to be tomorrow on all of our platforms here that you're watching us right now. It'll premiere live at 6:45 p.m. on your Friday. So make sure you check that out. And yeah, so we have our 5-star map yesterday. Got a little Drake gift going again with the 5 stars. Again, this is Lubbock, Post, Plainview, Texas. There was 3-inch hail recorded with this, about 54,000 homes, the overwhelming majority of that being in Lubbock. Even though we have a lot of different swaths in here, there's not a lot of people outside of Lubbock itself. And there's some pictures for you all over the place. So you got saw a handful of photos of people's skylights being busted out. That was a table with one of those tile outdoor tables where the tile ended up getting broken by the hail. Saw some windshields broken and a lot of different hail pictures in there. Up to baseball size hail for parts of Lubbock, and a large swath of section of Lubbock being impacted with up to golf ball to 2.5-inch hail as well. So pretty intense little storm there. I know it's been quiet the last 2 days, so it's a welcome return to some activity. And I don't have a green suit, but if you saw on our Facebook page, Derek's got the green suit on as well. So here is your hail forecast for today. What can we expect? Can we see any 5-star maps today? Probably not super likely, just because the most significant hail threat is going to be over by Garden City and Dodge City for this evening after about 5 o'clock or so. We could see some hail upwards of tennis ball size before storms kind of congeal into a bit of a line and head generally towards the Oklahoma City metro for late tonight, possibly as late as about 5 a.m. tomorrow, where chances are the hail threat for Oklahoma City will be pretty minimal unless something develops here kind of in the very near term, which is looking pretty unlikely. And it looks like we have a chance as well along the dry line in Texas. That's why I got a low chance in Abilene. The models haven't really been showing too much developing here, so it's a very low chance. If anything does form, we could see storms even bigger than golf ball size, but I'm starting to lean into the possibility that we won't see anything form or just one lone storm over a pretty rural area. We're also watching a couple other things near the Dallas region for the wind threat. There's a possibility a couple storms might form in and around Dallas and off to the east. I don't think it's going to be much of a hail threat, but more of a wind threat, so we got a low chance pretty much across the board, across north central Texas over by Shreveport. We also have a couple storms forming down into Florida a little bit here. And again, that wind threat's probably going to really, the most significant area is going to be in western Oklahoma, northwestern Oklahoma later on today and into tonight, as any of the storms that form in southwestern Kansas will eventually turn into a line of storms that will be producing gusty winds. 65, 70 miles an hour might be the maximum capacity of this wind for today, but that's what we're looking at for this Thursday. City forecast for the hail here in Garden City between about 5 and 9 p.m. Storms going to develop pretty close to 5 o'clock. Could have to tennis ball size hail for Garden City and for Dodge City as well. About that moderate chance of at least quarter size hail, and then kind of lower chance for the bigger hail. I think there's a couple flies in the ointment for the forecast today. We might see some messy development that could minimize the hail size. But again, like with Lubbock yesterday, it doesn't take too much sometimes to get really big hail. Abilene, Texas, between 5 and 9 as well. It's going to be around pretty much the peak heating of the day along the dry line, if it happens at all. Could see some golf ball size hail, but those chances are pretty low. I wouldn't be surprised that almost no storms form in that area. So we're going to jump over to the future radar here. Whoops. Hang on. There we go. Got a little ahead of myself. So here in the Central Plains, see those storms forming after about 5 o'clock, and it turns into a bit of a weird complex very quickly. So I think that hail is going to be really limited to the initial development of storms, and then slowly push off to the south and to the east, of generally towards Wichita and Oklahoma City, where in the very late night hours, possibly early morning hours of tomorrow, we could see some storms near the I-35 corridor, but chances are that hail threat is going to be pretty low and much more of a wind and heavy rain threat. And then we're going to shift it a little further south to show most of Texas. There is some activity trying to show up on the models for in and around the DFW Metroplex, but again, I think that hail threat's going to be kind of low, more of a wind threat with this. We'll be watching it carefully. Could end up being wrong. I mean, Dallas has surprised me before, but we could definitely see some storms with that going into this evening, so we'll keep a close eye on that, of course, as always, and stay tuned with Hail Trace. We'll do any live coverage if need be. So this is your forecast for Friday. Friday's looking a little similar to last Friday. So if you're in Oklahoma City or just Oklahoma in general, we had a setup where if the outflow boundary, a little trigger mechanism for storms kind of hung out around Oklahoma City, we could have had some big storms, and it turned out that it turned into a bit of a cold front, and it raced all the way south to the Red River and didn't really see too much in the way of big hail. I'm thinking we're seeing something kind of similar to that going into tomorrow, so I've erred on the side of further to the south and maybe not as big of hail. I think we could actually see storms possibly getting as far south as near the Dallas Metroplex. It's not so much what the Storm Prediction Center has, is more kind of leaning into what happened last week and possibly going into tomorrow. I think Oklahoma City, you have a low chance. Again, anything's possible. It could be different week, different setup, or a different week, same setup, different outcome. It's always possible. But I'm really thinking now closer to the Red River and possibly as far south as Dallas for your Friday. Low chance right now. We're not really going to have all the details ironed out till tomorrow. So tune back in tomorrow. We'll kind of iron out for you. Hopefully we'll have a clearer picture. And yes, there is even a chance up by Kansas City. And we also have some hail possible across North Carolina tomorrow as well, where that popcorn variety may be up to that $50 size hail. So we're going to look at that future radar here across the Central Plains. You can see the storms moving out in the morning, leaving outflow boundary, and it has storms forming south Oklahoma City and to the west of Dallas. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Again, if we can get an outflow boundary to at least slow down. The biggest problem with a setup like this is when that trigger mechanism is hauling to the south, you can have a hard time getting storms to sustain with that. So if it can slow down, kind of stall out, you have a much better chance of seeing some storms. So I'll be watching that super carefully going into tomorrow. And then off to the East Coast, you see some storms forming in North Carolina, parts of South Carolina, even into far northern Georgia for your day on Friday. We'll be watching that carefully. I think a lot of it's just going to be quarter to $50 size hail at maximum for your Friday. Looking ahead into that Memorial Day weekend, Saturday is probably the clearest day of the 3 days of that extended holiday weekend, where we'll see storms probably in western Oklahoma. The best chance is going to be in Nebraska, likely western Nebraska and parts of Kansas, and then all the way north, possibly all the way to Canada. A couple isolated storms there as well. And then too much uncertainty on Sunday, Monday. I was trying really hard to put in a couple areas to highlight what could possibly happen on Sunday and Monday, but all of our forecast models all have different solutions, and there's a lot riding on what happens on Saturday for Sunday, and then Monday there's a lot of the large scale forcing, the things that we need to have a lot of storms happen. It's pretty weak, so it's going to be really mesoscale, so small scale for triggers for storms and whatnot. So it makes it very challenging to get a really clear idea of what's going to happen. I think Sunday has a better chance of storms than Monday as of right now. So Memorial Day might actually be kind of quiet. But statistically speaking, Memorial Day is usually pretty busy. So I think something might end up happening. And folks asking about Denver, I think in there, Colorado could see something this weekend. But again, there's a lot of conflicting information on all the forecast models we use. And the upper air support isn't there to really kind of finite put something being like, yeah, this is where we're going to see storms. So we'll have an update tomorrow going into that Memorial Day weekend, and depending on how everything is kind of setting up, we might do video forecasts over the weekend. We might not, kind of see how things play out for this weekend. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, hit see first so you don't miss when we go live. We had to very suddenly go live yesterday for the Lubbock storm, and so you don't miss any of our little recap video, or not recap videos, their 10-year anniversary video series and all that good stuff. And follow our Instagram and Twitter at HailTrace, so you are up to date with everything HailTrace has going on. And you can give us a call at 855-334-4245. Any comments, questions, or concerns you may have, or if it's your first time with HailTrace, or you need to set up a training, whatever it may be, you can call us there. You can email us at info@hailtrace.com, or visit our website, hailtrace.com. You can message us through the website, or just find more details taking a peek at the website. So, whoops, I haven't done that in a while. All right, guys, so I hope you guys have a great rest of your Thursday. Oh, and also check out Derek's KOCO Storm Chaser page. We'll be out chasing today, or I won't be, but Derek, another one of the meteorologists, will be out there. So go check that out as well. And we'll see you again tomorrow at 12 p.m. unless something crazy happens and we do some live coverage. So have a great day.